I made a decision right out of high school to join the Navy. My dad was in the Navy, and although he didn't push me to do that, I made an 18-year-old decision on my own. Went and had a physical, unbeknownst to mom and dad, and came home after the physical and was cleared to do that, and I broke the news to them that I was going to join the Navy. And so I did that in 1966. Went to boot camp in Great Lakes, Illinois, and from there I went to my first assignment after boot camp, which was Lakehurst Naval Air Station. Spent my entire tour there at Lakehurst in crash and rescue, and after 2 years received orders to the USS America. For a country boy from Kentucky, she was at Norfolk, Virginia, and actually, when I walked up on the ship, you just have no idea that something that huge is a ship that's going to float on the water. And the closer I got to it, and you just start raising your head up and up and up and up looking, and you're thinking, wow, this is a building and the ship must be on the other side. But no, that was not the case at all. She was just a magnificent lady sitting at the dock, and I was really taken back by just how pretty the ship was, and couldn't wait to get on there and get started working. I think probably the finest memory was my contribution personally to the activities of the ship on a day-to-day basis, probably. Just knowing that I was a small piece of the pie, that didn't matter what you do on board ship, how you do it reflects on the entire operation of the ship. One can't operate with the other. We can't launch planes without the guys 12 or 13 decks below manning all of the machinery and the things that's relative to launch an aircraft. It's more than what you see on the TV. There's so much more involved. And I worked in the V3 division, which was the hangar deck. Okay. And so even though we weren't directly involved in the launching of aircraft, indirectly we were, because as launches and recoveries took place, we sent aircraft up and brought aircraft down. I think the most memorable moment for me is probably just being a part of 5,500 guys keeping that ship afloat and securing our missions every day. Daily life in port was pretty neat, just like a normal job, generally an 8-hour day. At sea, things changed, of course, because of the tempo of the operations. And then once we wound up in harm's way, why, things really heated up. You spent 16-hour days at your job. The next few hours, once you got off, were spent trying to get yourself something to eat, trying to get yourself a shower, and then trying to get yourself some sleep. For me, that wasn't all that difficult. It just seemed as though I couldn't wait to get all that stuff done so I could get back up on the deck and get back to work again. Okay. So it was pretty exciting for me, actually. Food's excellent. Now, we did have a forward mess deck that served, once you're at sea, that served hamburgers and hot dogs and french fries 24 hours a day. So, that sustained a whole lot of us, and most because you don't have a whole lot of time, and there's such a turnover at one time, you hate to go stand in chow lines for that precious time that you were off. So my berthing compartment was right by the forward mess deck. So it was just too convenient. It was just too convenient to go by there and snatch a hot dog or a slider and get on down to the berthing compartment and get yourself some sack time. There was probably 50 of us in the one that I that I shared, the berthing compartments, we slept 3 high. But it was comfortable. America was one of the very first aircraft carriers that had air conditioning in the berthing compartments. So while it was crowded and cramped and all that, the time that you had to be in your berthing compartment wasn't a lounge. It was a place to go down and get yourself some sleep. So you really didn't. I didn't mind, all the folks being in there, but we had good living conditions.
Okay.
Yeah. Nobody has to, if you lived through that era in the 60s, nobody really has to, that was there and came home, has to tell you what it was like for a serviceman in Vietnam to come home. There was dissension at home. While you were over there, I personally, while you might have read some things about that in Navy Times and the hometown newspapers, while you were over there, you didn't have really time for that to soak in at the magnitude of the dissension that was going on at home. And so consequently, it was pretty much an eye-opening experience when you came home to greet people at the airports that were, holding their signs and saying what they wanted to say. And while it was against you, I was in such awe of it that I didn't know how to respond. I think now that I'm 60 years old, I probably would have responded a little different, having lived life a little bit more and understood what those people were doing. I may have reacted a little differently, rather than just passing by and keep my focus on getting home. I might have had something to say back to them. However, that's what our country is all about. Good, bad, indifferent, you have the right to say those kinds of things. And for those of us that served our country, that's what we're there for. We provide you the means to dissent. And it's costly sometimes. But that's what our country is all about, is being able to rise up and say, I don't like the way things are going, and not be afraid of reprisal from your government or your, whether it's local, state, or federal. You can go to your church and worship as you wish. You can stand up and say, I don't like it, and in front of the cameras, if you will, but that's what we fight for. That's what a democratic society is all about, is having that ability to do that. And I'm proud that I had played a part in keeping that sacred to our country.